Okay.
connected to this, sort of. I mean, tangentially in a way.
All right.
I am concerned about
more concern. Yes.
about the issues.
Yes.
I am interested in the issues raised by the recent news that our present president is going to have to raise over $1 billion to get reelected. Now, I'm not saying that I think he should be or should not be or whatever. It's just the point that thinking that anybody has to raise $1 billion in this country to get to be president raises the issue of how many ways is he going to have to subdivide his soul and sell it off to get that kind of money? And what are we going to do as a nation with a system like this that seems to be getting heavier? I know that you have said, and I, in some ways, I can begin to see the dissolution of all of this, but yet it seems to be getting heavier at the same time.
You are your government. Change it. It's your planet, your government. Change it. Change yourself.
Okay,
and shift to a reality through your actions that represent the change you've made within yourself. Shift to a reality that contains the idea that is more representative of what you prefer.
All right.
Instead of thinking there's only one reality, we're stuck with it, and that's all we've got.
Well, there are so many people who want to change, but there seems to be a confusion about what to do. When we look at...
May I assist you?
Can I just
May
mention
I
one thing?
assist you?
Yes. Okay.
Stop worrying about what everyone else is thinking and just change in the way you prefer to, and let the reality reflect to you what is representative of that change. Stop focusing on what you think everyone else needs to do. Just focus on yourself. Just change yourself in the way that you prefer to. Behave the way that you prefer to. Let everything take care of itself. Let everyone else make their own decisions about what realities they wish to change to. The ones that wish to think like you will join you. The ones that don't will be somewhere else, and you can't do anything about changing their minds anyway. Let them have their reality. It won't necessarily be yours. All
right. Well, I'd like you to clarify, please. What is the problem or the tremendous difference that seems to separate us to a certain extent from the people, say, in France or in Germany or even in England, who hit the streets by the hundreds of thousands to demonstrate against their governments? The governments seem to pay attention. As Michael Moore said in his most recent film, I believe, recently, that in France, for example, the people are afraid of their government. In the United States, we're afraid of our government. Why is this? What is wrong with this picture?
Because you have created a belief system wherein you wanted to give your power to someone else to run your lives.
Why?
So that's what you've got. Because you're afraid of your own power. Because you have disconnected yourself from your own power to the point where you don't believe you have any.
But why should we be any more disconnected than the French, for example? I don't get it.
Because different cultures have different belief systems about how they experience their relationship to themselves and their connection to spirit. You're having a number of different experiments on your planet about different ways to experience your relationship to your belief systems and to your reality. So, of course, there will be different experiences in different cultures by definition. Decide in your own culture whether you wish your culture to continue to be experienced that way, or whether you wish to change yourself and be an example of the kind of change that can occur, so that other people can also see in you, by example, other options that they can then also choose. If you are already aware that there can be another option, then start behaving as if there is. Then you will be in a reality state, in a vibrational state, that can function as an example for others that there are other options. And if they gravitate to it, then bit by bit, more and more of you will take back your power, and you will institute the kind of changes that are representative of the reality and the nation and the culture you prefer. But you have given your power over to people and told them to run your lives. So why berate them when they're doing such a good job of doing what you told them to do? Tell them to do something different. Tell other people then to take their place who will do different things. Empower people. The way you have structured your culture is based on fear. So your government is based on the same. That shouldn't surprise you. So develop a culture of joy. Develop a culture of self-empowerment. And then you will find you will not really need anyone to tell you what to do.
Does this culture of fear come primarily from the fact that most of our ancestors who came here were dispossessed people feeling the brunt of famines and social injustice and so forth? So they had a lot of fear when they came here.
That has something to do with it in a sense, but that's not really the beginning of it. Understand that disempowerment has existed in your culture, in your planet for thousands upon thousands of years. This idea of self-disempowerment has been a theme of exploration for generations and eons. But you're arriving at the end of that exploration. That's why you're even considering that there can be something different. But the point is if you know there can be something different, then exercise the idea of your self-empowerment by being an example of the difference. Otherwise, you're just talking.
Do you see a significant shift happening in this country within the next few years?
If you make it. But again, please, you're missing the point. All those realities already exist. It's not a significant shift in your country. Is do we see a significant shift in certain individuals who will take themselves to another parallel Earth reality that is already different? That we do see. But we will be talking to that Earth. We won't be talking to the other one. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's not that we have to see a change in that Earth. It doesn't matter whether that Earth changes. It only matters whether individuals change themselves and shift to another Earth that is already representative of the change you're talking about. Already representative of that experience. Doesn't matter if a change occurs in any particular reality, because every reality is distinct for what definition it serves, what experience it has been designed to serve. So that reality will never change. Never. It's its own reality by definition. A reality doesn't change. Your experience of reality changes when you shift to another reality more representative of the experience that is your vibration. So it does no good to say, do we see a change in the reality? We see changes in your experience of reality if you choose to change. And if most of you didn't choose to change, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So this conversation is an indication that many of you say you prefer to change and that many of you do make those changes. Or again, this conversation wouldn't be happening. The conversation is proof itself that you're making these changes. So yes, but we want you to understand the mechanism, and that will suffice. Thank you.
Can I just ask?
That will suffice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Let
you,
it
Bashar.
sink in.